What's going on, YouTube? JT is Reborn here, and welcome to another edition of my DC comic book reviews. And in today's video, we're going to be talking about Robin 80th Anniversary, the 100-page super spectacular issue. I really like this issue. So Robin celebrated his 80th anniversary. Dick Grayson technically, but the mantle of Robin. This is a whole anniversary special, and I kind of see DC going in this direction where they did Detective 1000, they did Action 1000, and those have been received quite well. So okay, we'll just do kind of like these 80th anniversary celebrations. They did like a Batman one, all sorts of fun stuff. Again, I really like this. I thought it was quite good. There's all these different stories. You have a couple centered around Dick Grayson. You have a Jason Todd one. You have two Tim Drake ones. You have a Stephanie Brown one, which I was surprised. And you had two Damian Wayne centered stories. So get all the different Robins in there. Well, for the most part, there's no Carrie Kelley in there. Well, she's an Elseworld, like main continuity Robins for the most part. But yeah, so we're gonna go in. I'm gonna kind of briefly talk about each little story segment, what I thought about it, and so on and so forth. So let's go ahead and get started. So skim through here. So here are the different stories. We have Dick Grayson Robin in A Little Nudge. This one's written by Marv Wolfman, who created Nightwing. Marv Wolfman is a fantastic writer and should be appreciated till the end of time. One of the best that DC's ever had. Dick Grayson and Nightwing Aftershocks, written by Chuck Dixon, who is back writing Nightwing, so that's pretty cool. Nightwing and the Titans by Devin Grayson. This one's definitely a little bit older. Dick Grayson, Agent 37, for some reason. Jason Todd, the Red Hood. Ooh, this one is quite strong. Tim Drake, Robin in extra credit. Tim Drake, Red Robin in Boy Wonders. This was one written by James Tynion. Stephanie Brown, Robin 4, and fitting in. We have the Super Sons, which was the most exciting thing in this thing. And then we have Damian Wayne, Robin, Son of Batman in Bat and Mouse. Like I talked about this when I did my Teen Titans issue number 40 review, but we're going to talk about this one in particular because it leads into the annual, which is supposed to come out next month. So we'll briefly skim through. We'll talk about each thing just kind of briefly. So the first storyline is a story written by Marv Wolfman. It's Dick Grayson in A Little Nudge. This is him. He's working with Batman. It's kind of like retcons, I think. It's kind of like his last story as Robin. He wants to go and become his own man. And I think it's nice touching. The art style is definitely like a little bit older. It's kind of mimicking, I guess you want to say, like stuff in the 1980s and so on and so forth. But this is pretty much the last time Dick Grayson was in the Robin suit. He even has like the short pants. He's got his little boots there. And this is written by Marv Wolfman. Like I said, Marv Wolfman's an expert. It's really short. It's really brief. And it's just basically Dick Grayson's like, you know what? It's time for me to become my own man. And he's like, I'm done as Robin. Today's the day I become a man. It's my 18th birthday. But your rules, they're not easy. I can't do this anymore. It's time for me to become my own person. And Bruce, at the end of the day, he's just like, I've been thinking that you stayed this because you thought you need me for myself, and that's why I felt you needed a nudge to move in. So Batman kind of nudged him a little bit. They have been the strictest rules imaginable, but they worked. Happy birthday, Dick, the best man I ever known. So it kind of ends in that little touching moment. Again, just kind of something brief. Art style is nice. It definitely mimics some older Batman comics. And Marv Wolfman writing is always a nice treat. So I like the first thing just fine. So this is the second storyline. This is Bat Profile. This one's written by, was it Chuck Dixon who wrote this one? Yes, this one's definitely written by Chuck Dixon. It's definitely got a 90s style of artwork. So you're kind of getting different eras of Robin and Dick Grayson with the art styles kind of intertwined here. I'm not sure if this is set in any sort of continuity, but basically the issue is it's just Dick Grayson as Nightwing, not so much Robin. Just kind of doing some heroic things, saving people, and just kind of doing just little shtick. That's pretty much all that's going on in this particular storyline. Not much else there. Well, Robin works right. So that's kind of it. Really not much else to this. It's just Dick Grayson being heroic and saving people and being happy he's there. That's all you can really say about it. Again, I like the artwork style. Definitely feels something kind of more 1990s. And Nightwing's there. He's being a badass. That's all you can really appreciate. The third storyline here, we have Nightwing and team building. This is the Teen Titans facing off against Hive. We have Damien Dark involved, and he's just basically scolding all of them. They're just like, well, the Titans did this, the Titans did that. We have all this teamwork, and we didn't expect anything like this. And then kind of the big surprise at the end, we have Dick Grayson. He's like, okay, it was me the whole time. He's kind of smiling and charming. He's like, you consider pizza night. He's like, you guys need to work better as a team unit. So it's kind of like fun, little charming short story there. Out of the three storylines so far, I think I like maybe the Wolfman one the most in this one, and then the other one. I don't know. The first three storylines are pretty good. This one here is, in my opinion, the weakest part of this entire book. This one's written by Tom King and Tim Seeley. This is like a Grayson Agent 37 type thing. You have him kind of going on these little different like missions, and you see him, he's kind of flirting with somebody who turns out to be a gorilla, and he's in this outfit here. Again, I feel like that's just kind of a little bit of fan service to show off Dick Grayson, how jacked as shit he is. Again, a lot of people like that, so, more power to you. Turns out he's like facing off Psychic Gorilla, and they're facing off of this, and then it just kind of ends. Again, I didn't read the Grayson run. I'm not sure if this ties into anything in that regards, but it just felt kind of a lackluster ending and just didn't feel nearly as strong as the other three storylines. I think this was definitely the weakest part of this whole book, and I'm just like, what? But yeah, so kind of like this, like the whole like overarching theme of it too is he's taking advice, he's thinking about the life lessons that Batman taught him, and then kind of at the end of the thing, it's like, just kind of be your own, ignore what your mentor says and do your best. So yeah, that's kind of it. Agent 37, Dick Grayson. So like I said, I never read that run, so I don't know if it's really good or not. I've heard kind of mixed things about it, but if you like it, that's cool and all. Next issue, this is a Jason Todd center one. This one's really kind of like heartbreaking. This one definitely gets you in the feels. It's quite emotional and really sad too, but it's like it's nice. It's sweet and innocent. So Jason Todd, for Bruce's birthday, decides to fix this watch for Batman. And he really just wants to impress him. Look at how happy this child is. Look at how happy Jason Todd is. How can you not smile when you see that? That's kind of me. He's like, the watch was broken. He's like, right, I fixed it mostly. It's no big deal. He just wants his affection. And Alfred's right there in the background. He's like, we're working on it for 5 months. Finding all the parts was insane. He just seems so excited and ecstatic as a child. And like I said, it's nice touching. He says thank you and all that. He's like, okay, I'm going to keep working on it if it's cool with you, but I want to give it to you as a gift. And then you see him like years later as the Red Hood, leaving that watch as a nice little gift. And you see Batman opening it by the end of it. Jason, yeah? Thank you, sure. And he's just kind of like, he's like, happy birthday, Bruce. Like I said, it's something that was like followed up on years later. He just kind of wanted to get him a nice gift, showing that there is still like, they still ultimately care for one another, but like there's definitely some strain on their little relationship they have. But like I said, I thought this one, out of the stories we've gotten so far, was the strongest, at least at this point in the book. Jason Todd only had one storyline. Like I said, it's brief, it's short, it's just his time as Robin. It shows kind of like the childhood, like innocence that Jason Todd had, and I really, really liked it. Again, I'm kind of skimming through these rather quickly, so I do recommend you check this book out if you don't want any more spoilers. So yeah, that one's nice. Judd Winnick. It was nice to read a Red Hood storyline that wasn't written by... Oh, God, why am I drawing a blank on his name? Oh, shoot. It's nice to read a Red Hood storyline that's not written by... God, why am I drawing a blank on his name? Hang on, I gotta look this up really quick. It's nice to read a Red Hood... Scott Lobdell. Like, it's nice to read a Red Hood book that's not written by Scott Lobdell, because he's been, like, writing it for so long. It's nice to get something that just feels a little bit different. So I appreciated that about it. Oh, God, how could I not remember? Look at that right there. That's some nice artwork right there. Red on the Isles is pretty good. And this one here is a Tim Drake-centered storyline. Like I said, I really like Tim Drake's Robin and like the good he does. And this is just kind of him. It's like, okay, look, you're one of the smartest people there. What do you want to do with your life? And we kind of just see Tim Drake. We hear him about all these different extracurricular activities. He wants to work in law enforcement. And he's kind of like just showing all the heroic things he's done. Showing why Tim Drake is one of the best Robins all around. And that's kind of the gist of it all. And he's like, okay, I'm off to do like this extra credit. And you just see Tim Drake, like his importance there, why he needed to be there for Batman in the first place, where it's kind of brought up. And like I said, I really like Tim Drake. I think he's a fantastic Robin. I like all the Robins, actually. But Tim Drake, like, he was very important. He was one of the people who Batman needed. When Batman needed a Robin, like, Tim Drake showed up and more than delivered on the role. And like I said, I really liked him. This one here is called The Boy Wonders. It's written by James Tynion IV, and you see him as Red Robin. It's kind of some, like, you get interactions between Tim and all the other different Robins. To remember, it feels there. My costume feels good. Familiar, I reached this, though it's not instinct, it's habits. Where is he saying that? Like, he says something about it being, let's skim through. Blah, 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 and I still makes me feel a miracle come together. Years ago, it was just Tim Drake. A key to uncover the secret identities of Batman and Robin. The one I saw that my hero was hurting after the death of a partner. I knew I needed someone at his side to keep him from falling apart. I ended up calling answer that. Been Robin ever since. Sure, maybe I added an extra arm on my chest when the Prince of Darkness took the job. So like I said, there's definitely some tension that always goes on between Tim Drake and Damian. Like they're definitely like brothers who argue and are at each other's nerves the most, which is why I really feel like that's a relationship that should be explored more in the comics. Maybe them kind of getting along, working together more often. Like Tim Drake and Damian, like those two are like at each other's throats like the most, and that's kind of the most fun part about it all. So we said Tim Drake, he's wondering what he wants to do with himself. He's like, do I want to be Robin? Do I want to stick around doing my thing more often? He talks to Dick Grayson. Obviously, like Dick Grayson, everyone who likes Dick Grayson, they just get along with him the best. He's just the nicest of guys. Then he goes and he talks to Jason Todd. Jason Todd speaks with him, and then he speaks with Damian last, and like the best advice he seemed to get was from Damian. And like I said, I like their little interactions of them working together and teaming up. And then ultimately it leads into the start of the Rebirth Detective Comics run, where Tim Drake was like, okay, I'm gathering a team together, and just kind of like, it's kind of like a prequel in essence to the James Tynion's like Detective Comics run, which was pretty good. Like he should go ahead and check that out, like at the start of Rebirth when he put in like his little watchtower and his little protocol there. I thought that was kind of nice. Definitely worth checking out there. Then we have this Stephanie Brown one. My biggest issue with this thing is the really weird looking artwork. The storyline is fine itself. It's written fine. It's just the artwork just feels kind of weird and out of place. She's trying to be Robin. The suit doesn't fit her because she's a girl. It's just the way it's kind of drawn. It just seemed kind of like strange to me. So it's just her. She's like, I got to be my own Robin. She was only Robin, I think, for like a few months before Tim Drake like came back on and took the mantle back over. But I like Stephanie Brown. I think she's a good character, and I'd like to see more of her in other books. That's why I liked reading about her when she was Batgirl, and then she had some of her interactions with Damian were quite funny. But you see her, she's doing her own shtick. She gets her own little changing room within the cave, and she just wants to be her own Robin. Yada, yada, yada. We've seen stuff like this before, but it was nice and surprising to get a Stephanie Brown Robin story. So I appreciated that. Then we move on to my favorite part of this whole book, a Super Son story. I love the Super Sons. I really, really love the Super Sons. This issue made me like both happy and also really quite sad because we had this stuff. This was a gold mine, and Brian Michael Bendis came in. I'm going to throw shade at the guy because we lost this because of him. He got his hands on John Kent. He aged him up and turned him into something that so far removed from the character, it just made you wonder, why not just create your own like original character and stay away from this? Bringing in Bendis and having him take over so we lose the Super Sons was by far one of the worst things that DC Comics did. You know what? I will say it is the worst thing that could have happened because we lost the Super Sons over whatever this other nonsense is. And this here, the writing is so pure. It's so innocent. We get the great friendship. We get the Jorge Jimenez artwork style. It was so damn good, and it's so touching, and it's just a little taste of what we're missing. Super Sons is perfect. It's the best comic book DC's put out. I'd say it's my favorite comic DC's ever produced. It was so goddamn good. It's got like a manga, like anime art style. Jorge's artwork is fantastic. There's a sense of fun. In a sense, they're just best friends. John Kent even talks about like the importance of Damian. He's like, I'm an only child like my dad, but if I ever had a chance to have a brother, I know exactly the kind of brother I'd want. Because he knows me better than anybody. Never tell them this. Look at that. They're just sitting there laughing, having a good time. I missed this Damian too. Like Damian with Super Sons was so great. Because like when you go to Teen Titans, he's not written anywhere even remotely close to this. Tomasi really knows how to write Damian better than anybody else, I'd say. It's just like pitch perfect. Like the right amount of like there is like definitely some like a funny sense of humor with Damian because he's kind of like this narcissist trapped in like a teenager's body. Like he's like this 40-year-old narcissist trapped in like a teenager's body. I kind of like always thought of Damian a bit like kind of like that upper like snobbiness that's there, but like there's like a heart. Like there, like he definitely has a good heart at the core of him, and I feel like this really tapped into this. And like I said, like John Kent's like hopefulness like inspires him to be a better person, and like their friendship was so pure and so likable, and they played off each other so well. It was so well written, art style. It was just fun adventures. I didn't need all this like end of the world stuff. I could just watch them just read about them just hanging out, going on these little fun adventures together. we really need something that brings a lot of levity and lightheartedness to DC, and the Super Sons more than accomplish that. It truly is a tragedy that we lost this book. I really hope that with this whole like Dan Didio gone, we can get Bendis out of there, do some magical stuff, say, oh no, this isn't the real John Kent. The real John Kent's been trapped somewhere, and we got to get him back. And then we bring John Kent back, get the Super Sons back on there. Everybody wants it. Nobody likes what they've done with John Kent. Well, maybe 1%, but the vast majority do not like what they've done with the character since Bendis took over. They want the Super Sons back. I want the Super Sons back. Your whole audience wants the Super Sons back, so why not just do it? And I'm not talking about that crossover, that thing that Bendis wrote, which just with that art style and just the writing just felt really bad. I'm talking about this. We want this. It's golden. It's great. Give us the Super Sons back. We miss them. So the last storyline that we got, this one's written by Robbie Thompson. Now I referenced this in my Teen Titans 40 review, issue 40 review. You can check that out. I'm posting them both kind of simultaneously. But anyway, so this one, it's going to lead into the Teen Titans annual that's supposed to come out next month. This one's written by Robbie Thompson. And this one is something I've been thinking that needs to be addressed with DC. The fact that Bruce is just like, okay, so let's say family, friendship, loyalty, honor, qualities I struggle, but I failed. This right here is bringing up Robin's been off the grid for months. Batman has not been there as a father figure. He's been distant, cold. Whatever he's hiding from me, it's bigger than us. We see even Damian. Like they both have issues with each other, and like they really need to work them out. And Bruce, with his stubbornness, he's like, okay, I gotta help be there as a father. It kind of dives into like their insecurities, how they both kind of want the same thing. They both want to be on the same page, but it's always the same failure after failure with each other. We keep missing each other. He's too set in his own ways. They're both like the same person. They just kind of have like slightly different paths. They're both the same in regards to like they have like they're both really stubborn. Like he definitely is a mini Bruce in that regards. Like he's definitely the closest to him in that thing. The only difference is their methodology in certain things. But he blames himself. He's like, I wasn't his partner, I was his son. Trust me, I'm neither. I've outgrown him, and that's his fault. I can't reach him. Right here. Like you can see how their two like stories kind of parallel each other. And like, well, what if I'm wrong? But maybe I'm wrong. They both like want to work things out, but they're too damn stubborn to realize it. That's what I said at the beginning. Now it's time for a lesson, Batman. Robin, for once, we agree. And he's like, even Bruce is just like, I gotta say something, and then he's gotta tell him. They're like, they gotta tell each other things. Tell him you're scared. But once again, they just kind of ignore each other. Robin is hiding something from me. I heard his voice, but in his heart, I skipped a beat, not a lie. Fear, not as Batman. Okay, right here, this is what I've been saying for months. It skipped a beat, not from a lie, but from fear. I've got to keep an eye on him, not as Batman, but as his father. That right there is, to me, the strongest line you could possibly have. This is what has me excited about Thompson taking over, because he's addressing things that I've had major problems with in this book, and that since really for the past couple of months, I don't know what the deal is with Bruce Wayne. He is a great dad. He is a great father, but he has not been written like that, like anywhere. He has been written as a terrible, terrible parent. Like, look what happened when he was too busy fooling around with Catwoman. He sent his own son in, didn't tell anybody else. His son's going off doing his own thing. Like, if I were a parent, like, raising my son, I'd keep him as close as possible. Like, no, fuck no, you're not going off on your own. You're my son. You're going to stay here, and you're not going to go off in this thing without supervision. That's why if, like, say he had somebody like Dick Grayson leading, like, the Titans and watching over Damian, he'd feel fine. But Dick Grayson's gone. He's been shot. This child has been psychologically traumatized, and he needs therapy. He needs his dad there, but his dad's just not around. He just doesn't seem to care. He's just kind of ignoring and not being a parent. And I love the fact that this issue addresses that. We even see Alfred right here. You see him kind of dealing with this stuff. He feels himself as unworthy. That's how Batman sees me. That's why my father can never know what I've done. So he's afraid to tell him of his prison, and Batman's afraid to just kind of talk to him. But now he's just like, you know what? I got to keep an eye on him. Something is clearly not right here. He's clearly hiding something big, and I'm going to find out about it. So I hope there's at least a good conversation about the different insecurities, and like maybe we'll have like a nice issue where he has like a breakdown of it all. I want to see that. I want to see something nice, heartwarming, kind of touching. Like, there's definitely going to be some blows to be had. Like, there's definitely going to be like that anger and rage towards each other about how his way is the only right way, even though Batman's kind of done some similar stuff before. but I'd like to see him be a father. Like, just for God's sake, just be a parent again, Bruce, because you haven't been a good one lately. I don't know what's up with the parents at DC. Like, Batman and Superman have not been written as good parents. Like, Superman sending his son off into space with John Kent, or sending his son off into space with a man who just tried to kill them, with no real supervision, not going himself, and Lois not even telling about it. Come on, man. Come on, that's just terrible. The writing, like I said, was pretty strong in this issue. My only real gripe is the artwork. I think they didn't do a very good job. I hate to say that, but like, just look at Damian right here. Like, that art style is just kind of like sketchy, and it just doesn't look very good. Compare that to the Super Sons artwork, I think was much stronger. Again, like, it's better than what I could have done, but I feel like the art could have been slightly better in this issue. It's not really like my personal favorite type of style. But overall consensus, like, this Robin special, that pretty much just wraps it up there. I know I've kind of skimmed through like each panel in particular, but I'm excited to see where it goes with the annual. That comes out next month, so I'll definitely do a video on it. But overall consensus, I really liked this Robin, like, 80th anniversary, like, book. I think it was quite good. My favorite stuff in it, if I had to go favorite stories, favorite stuff for sure was the Super Sun stuff, because I'm really biased. Second favorite story might be the Jason Todd one. I'll go ahead and rank them. Favorite story is the Super Sons one. Second favorite is the Jason Todd. Third favorite is the Son of Batman one. Fourth favorite, the Tim Drake one right here. Fifth favorite, definitely did the Dick Grayson one right here, maybe. Fifth is like a toss-up between these two. I think Dick Grayson actually had kind of the weakest stories overall. So, best one, Super Sons. This is number 1. I go number 2 right here. Number 3 here. Number 4 here. Number 5 here. Number 6 here. Number 7. Number 8. Number 9. And then last place is this one. This is definitely the weakest thing. I think this one's number... I'll put this one at 8, 9, and then 10. The worst one was the Agent 37 one. I don't even know why that's there in the first place. Yeah, he was Agent 37 for a while, but I think that one could have been cut or done something different. That was definitely my least favorite of the issues. It wasn't terrible per se, but it just wasn't really all that strong. It definitely felt like lacking compared to the other stuff. But overall consensus, Robin 80 was a slam dunk, I think, for DC Comics. I can see them doing more stuff like this. Like I said, it was only like $10. I couldn't find a physical copy of it at the comic book shop because it was all like kind of taken down. But Robin 80, it just goes to show why the character of Robin, the mantle of it, means so much. And there's a lot of heart and warmth behind it. And I've also noticed too with DC's like little anniversary things, the end issue always leads into something like tying into like the other comic stuff. But like I said, this issue also gave me some Super Sons content, which has been sorely lacking for so long. Oh, God, I really, really miss the Super Sons. Can we please have the Super Sons back? That's one of my big takeaways. But anyways, what are your thoughts on Robin 80th? Did you get the chance to check it out? Let me know in the comments section down below. Hit the bell for notifications. I hope everybody's doing okay out there. I know these are kind of tough times for the world right now, but maybe a little escapism will cheer you up or something like that. I don't know. I'm just trying to bring some levity. I don't know what I'm doing, but I hope everyone's doing okay. But anyways, thank you again so much for watching this. I really appreciate it. Like and subscribe to the YouTube channel. Let me know your thoughts on the issue down below, and we'll talk about this some more. Once again, as always, take care now. Bye-bye then, and I will see you all in the next video. Peace.